My name is Philippa Jefferies. I'm Acquisitions Editor at River Publishers, and with me today is Professor Hamid Bahai, Professor in Computational Mechanics at the University of Brunel and Editor-in-Chief of the European Journal of Computational Mechanics. And today we're discussing the use of computational mechanics for structural engineering and the key developments and challenges in this area. Hamid, welcome.
Thank you, Philippa.
Would you like to start just by introducing yourself a little?
Yes, my name is Hamid Bahai, and I'm Professor of Computational Mechanics. I'm also Director of the Institute of Materials and Manufacturing at Brunel University, London. So the Institute is involved in research that covers a whole lot of different areas. It comprises over 200 academics and researchers. And we cover areas such as materials, structural integrity, manufacturing, and so on. Our particular strength at this institute is the area of material processing and characterization and computational simulation of materials and structures. We use a combination of theoretical, computational, and experimental validation approach to improve the quality of the structures used in real-life situations. So that's really a brief introduction to our institute.
Okay, great. And to start with, just how do you feel that computational mechanics is developed as a tool for structural engineering and analysis?
Well, first of all, computational mechanics is a research area concerned with simulation of structures and physical events. And that covers a whole range of different areas of application. This area has developed over the years to become a fundamental area of science and technology.
Yeah.
So the method involves initially a mathematical characterization of a physical entity. This mathematical model is then discretized to a form which allows it to be solved using computational processing.
Yeah.
And over the years, it has evolved to become a fundamental pillar of science and technology. So its ability to actually predict events which are yet to take place in future provides science a huge ability to deal with so many different problems which we couldn't imagine over even a decade ago to be able to solve.
And what would you say are kind of the main challenges that are in using computational mechanics for these kind of applications?
So, whilst in the past few decades there have been huge strides in development of new algorithms and new codes, which allow us now to do things that are significantly more challenging than only a decade ago. We are still facing some new challenges in the horizon that we have to deal with. Just to name a few, I talked about discretization earlier. This involves breaking the domain of our analysis into smaller bits, which are called elements in computational mechanics.
Okay.
Now, there has been this new idea of what we call mesh-free domain, which means that if we can allow ourselves to do away with this discretization process, then it would allow us to model things much more efficiently. Whilst there have been a lot of development in that area, we are still waiting for a full, if you like, mesh-free tool to allow engineers to analyze more challenging problems. The other area of interest is what we call multiphysics. An example of multiphysics problem is where you have coupling of, for example, a structural domain with a fluid domain. So the two domains have entirely different definitions. And coupling these two has been, the subject of a lot of research over the past 20 years or so. And there are still ongoing work in that area. The other area of importance is modeling uncertainties in our simulations.
Sure.
So historically, again, we characterize our models by using what we call deterministic parameters. Now, changing those to probabilistic parameters is an ongoing challenge, if you like. And linked with that is this question of bringing deep learning and artificial intelligence in computational mechanics, which has been another area of interest in sort of recent times.
Okay, interesting. I guess finally, how does this relate to your research in particular?
Okay, so our group at Brunel University has been involved in a number of these areas that I've mentioned. Just as an example, for the past 10 years, we've been involved in a lot of simulation work to model the behavior of deep water risers. These are very flexible risers which are used in deep oceans to extract carbons from waters. This work has included both multiphysics type of approach and multi-scaling modeling. Recently, we won a sizable grant which involves modeling of CO2 capture and storage processes. So being able to simulate the sort of saline reservoirs, deep saline reservoirs processes involves a lot of these multi-scaling and multi-physics approaches that I mentioned before.
Okay, well, thank you. I'm afraid we have to end it there, but thank you very much, Hamid, for joining me today.
Thank you very much. Thank you.